I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I will never claim to know everything, nor will I claim that everything on my channel is the right answer. I am simply a human being that spends time with Jesus and asks that he would give me wisdom. Something that the Lord has been working out in my life and sort of bringing to the surface has been this question, why am I insecure, or where does this insecurity come from? Okay, so the definition of insecurity is this: uncertainty or anxiety about oneself, a lack of confidence. So insecurity is essentially an identity crisis. You are uncertain about who you are, thus you lack confidence and security. You are insecure. So the question should arise, well, then where do I find my identity? Personally, I think the easiest place to go and find your identity, something that I do far more than I'd like, is to look for it either in what you do, I succeeded, I'm great, I failed, I'm not great, or to look for it in either what people say or think about you. She said I'm handsome, I'm valuable. He said I'm ugly, I'm not valuable. The problem with looking for your identity in those things is that they are forever changing. What you do in your life will always be changing and will never be certain. Who you have in your life will always be changing and will never be certain. What those people say or think about you will always be changing and will never be certain. Thus, your identity will always be changing and will never be certain. An identity is an unchanging thing. I have a biological father. I am inherently his son. He can tell me that I'm not his son. I can be told that I have another biological father, and I'll probably live my life as though that is true, but it's not. Nothing and nobody can change the fact that I came from my father. That is an unchangeable thing, and it is part of my identity. If your identity is unchangeable, it means that you already have it. You don't have to obtain it anywhere. You just need to discover what it is. So how do you go about discovering what it is? If your identity doesn't lie in the things that you do, and it does not lie in the thoughts and accusations of the people around you, where does it lie? Did you know that the God of the Bible claims that you are his? Did you know that he claims that he designed you? That you are not an accident and that you are not a random occurrence? Did you know that he claims that he individually and intricately knit you together in your mother's womb? For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. The crazy thing is that this God claims that he gave you an identity. He says things like you are his child, that he created your body as a temple for his Holy Spirit to live in, that he chose you and that he created you to be holy and blameless before him, that he designed you to produce good works, that you were once far from him, but that through his son Jesus you are a new creation and able to live righteously and holy as he designed you to be. If your identity lies in him, the one who claims who made you, and he says things like, you have not been given a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. This means that if somebody tells you that you are worthless, you have the power, the love, and the self-discipline to forgive them and continue to walk in the truth that you are still the son or daughter of the Most High God and that he says you are highly valued. What that person says no longer shakes your security in who you are. Your security now lies in who he says you are. Thus, you are no longer insecure and unsure of yourself, but you become secure and you now have confidence because you are sure of your self-worth. The problem with actually believing the idea that your identity lies in who God says you are is believing the idea that your identity lies in who God says you are. Part of what makes this concept so difficult is either believing that God exists, or that if he does exist, that he is valuable enough and that he has a place and authority to have a say in our identity. Have you ever given yourself the liberty to take a step back in life? To take a moment and consider the fact that there may just be a God who created you, that loves you, that has given you an identity and a purpose? I think it might be worth your time to consider those thoughts for a little while rather than just writing them off. If this God is actually real and he is actually who he says he is, what if you took 5 minutes just between you and him and you are honest with him, but you also ask him to reveal himself in a way that gives you an ability to trust, that you can believe that he is not only there, but relevant to you and your identity? It seems worth 5 minutes, right? If you do decide to speak with him, I encourage you not to demand that he prove himself. He's got nothing to prove, and he's just very simply not on our agenda. Consider speaking to him with humility. Also, give him some time to answer. Be patient with him. It may take a few days or even a couple weeks. But when you do ask him, I encourage you to keep your eyes open. Keep a lookout in your life to how he may be answering you. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. All of these things are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. You can message me, you can comment below. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to talk about in future videos. Also, if you need prayer, let me know. I have a prayer team that is dedicated to praying for the people that I interact with on this channel and who are excited to pray for you specifically if you need it. I love you guys. Share this video if you liked it, and let's continue to have this conversation about who God is, all right? All right, I'll see you guys. Hey guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Vicchiola, but my close friends call me D-Vic. If you find that my music influences you or your family in any way on a consistent basis, I want to encourage you to consider giving to my Patreon page at patreon.com/dvicmusic. For me, creating videos on YouTube is my career. It is how I make a living, and I'm only able to do it through people like you who see and experience the value in what I'm doing and make a decision to invest. I love you guys. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your encouraging words. And until next time, I'm David Vicchiola.